I'm surprised that this has been brought up now by David Lammy quite some time ago. The only thing I was concerned about was the gender and sex issue in terms of people's trans identity at the time. But in this week's Radio Times, David Lammy said, "Why can't I describe myself or my children as English on our census form? Black, British, yes. English, no. You can be white English, but you can't be black English." He'd said at the time, actually, I lie. He did say in March that it was a
He
muddle.
did mention something before.
Well, but what is the issue here? Because I mean, I'm always a bit perplexed by a lot of these. I'm half Irish heritage, but I put myself down as British white as opposed to Irish white. I would just say white. It's just these things are very muddled, aren't they? Because one of them is an ethnicity, and that may well be relevant, for instance, for medical treatment. You know, some diseases are more prevalent in different ethnicities, and some of it is identity. So I would consider myself British more than anything else. But why is there not a black English option, and should there be?
Well, David Lammy, loath as I am to admit it, he's partially right, I suppose. He defined himself as Black English, and possibly there should be. But there's a much wider issue. This is what happens when you play identity politics and you obsess over identity and divisions and classifications. Don't be surprised if someone else's interpretation of identity is different to yours. It's self-perpetuating. So obviously, look, the ONS have defended the decision by, I think David Lammy pointed out that there's a Welsh black option, and they said they had a review and they decided there wasn't enough impetus for a black English option. Fair enough, that's their point of view. But the other wider issue is, I mean, I don't see this as a huge critical issue, to be honest.
No, well, most people don't.
I know. I mean, the police would describe me as an IC3 male, a black male. And if someone asked me to define my identity, I'd never describe myself as an IC3 male. But that's how the police do it. That's fine. So I'm not quite sure why.
It's when it's relevant, isn't it? I mean, that's the key thing. Is what is relevant. I mean, there's certainly things like, for instance, if I've joined, my daughter, I mean, she joined the local library, and they asked for ethnicity, and I just put no. I mean, I'm not. I'm just left it black. It's like, it's totally irrelevant whether she's a black child or white child or Indian or what. It's totally and utterly irrelevant. It serves no purpose whatsoever. If it's a medical form, if it's a census form, then there is. If it's something that a police form, it's about giving a clear identification. Is someone of Middle Eastern appearance, Asian appearance, white appearance, Chinese appearance? Then that has a purpose. But that's what I was wondering. I think that this question on the census form, I think it conflates two completely different things: ethnicity, which is a fact, and then identity. So whether you consider yourself English or British, you can be British and English, obviously by definition. But if you're English, you are British as well. But whether you can, that is your identity. But surely they should separate those questions.
There is an argument that they should be separated. And as you rightly pointed out, nationality and ethnicity and identity are different things. And I suppose, I mean, the ONS have obvious reasons for wanting to categorize people. I don't object to them doing it. I do object to your scenario of a local library asking you ethnicity. It's completely irrelevant. Why do you need to know? But yes, there are differences between them. And I suppose what Lammy is saying, he's overlapping. I mean, identity is a personal thing. We live in an age of self-definition, don't we? Everyone can self-identify as what they want to. The ONS shouldn't really be interested in that, but something that's quantifiable and clear, I suppose, would be nationality. That should be their primary concern.
Yeah, the census should be about facts.
It should be about facts, absolutely. It shouldn't be about interpretation, and it shouldn't wade into identity politics either.
Absolutely, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way on this. Only when it's relevant. Ike Ijeh, founding signatory of Don't Divide Us. I really appreciate you joining us. As always, just talking sense.